Hey guys, if you enjoy what I'm putting out, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. So 2021 is the 45th anniversary of Super Sentai, and with a brand new season of Super Sentai, we've got a brand new anniversary season in the form of Zenkaiger. Now when Zenkaiger was initially announced, I was very amazed with how different this is going to look. I know a lot of the internet was, but I was definitely on board with this different look once we found out that the robots would be becoming Zords and they'd be based on Zords we've known from past Sentai series. I was definitely on board with that. But after sitting down and watching the very first episode, this looks like it's going to be a very fun Sentai, and I have high hopes for it moving forward in the future because I really enjoyed the first episode of Zenkaiger. So sit back, relax, and listen to me talking about Zenkaiger into your ears. So the episode opens on a very interesting note where the first thing we see is the very first Sentai team, Go Ranger, and as they do their roll call and step forward, you see a gear ticking and they're trapped in this mysterious world, then followed by Juran, which we know as Mighty Morphin, and then last year's Sentai, Kira Major. And I learned something new that I didn't know that probably everyone else knows. Apparently different Sentai series are different universes or different parallel universes, and I had no idea this was a thing. I thought it was just never explained, or maybe I missed a season where they explained it, but I didn't know that, sort of like what happened in Shattered Grid where each season became a parallel universe, they do the same thing for Super Sentai, and I had no idea that was a thing. But you learn something new every day. So you learn what the bad guy's objective is, and that is they're capturing all the Sentais throughout the years and turning them into these gears, these black gears that you see, and they're forming a collection of all the Sentai teams, so that way no one can stop them. So after that, we then meet our future leader of the, I nearly said Red Ranger, but he's a White Ranger in this series. Here we meet our future White Ranger, or future leader of the Sentai team, Kaito. And Kaito is a lot of fun. He's very upbeat, he's always smiling, he's full of ideas and stuff like that, because the first thing we see him do is he wants to jump off the Tokyo Tower. That's right, this guy wants to jump off the Tokyo Tower. That is crazy that he wants to do that. But what's also really fun is when he explains it to the guards or to the officers, saying, I'm going to jump off Tokyo Tower for a bungee jump. And then whenever he explains it, you've got the imagined outcome in his head that shows that he's just so full of ideas. So after he's thrown out of the building, you then see this big aura go across the city, and then the world of the robots merges with the world of the humans. And this is where Kaito walks up to one of them and says, will you be my friend? And that's the kind of leader we've got for our brand new Super Sentai. Someone who's a little bit goofy, but he can also be a bit serious, and he's very friendly, and he's always got a smile on his face. So I do wonder if other fans are going to like Kaito, because I know that a lot of the goofy leaders get a lot of slack from the fandom, or not a lot of people like them, but I understand where they're coming from. But Kaito doesn't seem too over the top with everything he's doing. He's got like the right balance, and he's got the right heart with how he does stuff in this episode. So after the opening song, we learn that 1 month has passed since the worlds merged together, and everyone's living in peace and harmony, which is very nice because you see peace amongst the humans and the Kikais, I believe they're called. I'm just going to call them robots, that's going to be easier for me. We kind of know what they are, they're machines, they're robots, so I'm mostly going to be calling them robots in this review, or mechs, whatever you want. So a month has passed and everyone's living in harmony. Kaito's good friends with some of them. They exchange recipes where he exchanges cotton candy for takoyaki. That makes me want some takoyaki right now. And things are good. Like, you even get to see our future Red Ranger, Juran, which is based on the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger Megazord. And I love this guy. Like, he is my favorite character. Like, even before the subs came out, I saw that clip of him shooting the guards while one of the bad guys was making his big speech, and that's made me know that I'm going to love this character. But Juran, you fall in love with in this episode, because he's a grumpy old man, but he's a grumpy old man with a heart. The best way to describe this character is it's the how do you do fellow kids, because the first time you see him, he says, "Yo kids, can I party with you?" And he's got like a big bag of food. Like, Juran is like that old guy that wants to fit in with the young crowd, and it's cool to see him do stuff like that. And of course, in this very first episode, we also meet our bad guys, because you got to set up the bad guys in Super Sentai. And these bad guys, these villains, they're robots just like the race of robots we see, but these are bad robots because of the ominous music and the talking head in the wall. But let's talk about this bad guy. So, the main villain, from what we've seen so far, is called King Bokowas. I believe I'm saying that right. If I'm not, people will tell me in the comment section. But we meet him and his minions, which is a talking parrot, a guy that looks like a demonic version of Wally, and a guy with a cannon for a head. But I do like the guy with a cannon for a head, his design, because he's got like medals on his shoulders, so it shows that this guy's been through a lot of battles, he's conquered a lot of places, so I do like that attention to detail with this character. So the bad guys have a plan where they're going to take over Earth and conquer more territory, so that way it will be easier for them. But as the bad guys are talking, we also meet our future Blue Ranger, who is based on, I believe, Operation Overdrive Blue, Boku Blue, I don't know the name, but we see him in the episode, and he's a janitor working for the bad guys, so I get the feeling in a couple of episodes we'll meet him, he'll escape from the bad guys, and he'll join the good guys later on down the line. But yeah, we get to meet him. We also do see the Pink Ranger during the 1 month time skip where she's on the news being talked to a reporter, and she's very shy and she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't want to give a comment. I think that was a fun scene. So, back to the bad guys. The bad guys invade and start wrecking havoc, and they wreck the party that Juran was at, and as soon as they wreck the party that Juran was at, everyone turns against Juran because they think he's one of the bad guys because, you know, judging by robotic profile or something like that. So no one likes Juran because the people see him as the same race that everyone's invading, so they just view everyone as the same. Kind of a deep cut, if you ask me. So as this is all going on, Kaito runs back to his grandparents' store, which is a candy store. I should have mentioned that earlier, but hey, they run a candy store. That's pretty cool. So back in the candy store, we find the secret entrance to what Kaito's parents were working on, and that is the parallel worlds of all the Super Sentai. Conveniently, they also made the henshin devices they'll be using to transform in this episode. But what I really like this is when they discover the secret base, Kaito asks his grandmother to become a ranger with him, or a Super Sentai squadron ranger with him, and he's having these flashbacks of them doing the cool poses behind explosions, and he keeps pushing the idea on her, and it was a fun little gag. I do like that he's even offering his grandma or his nan to become a Super Sentai with him. That was a fun little joke. I enjoyed that. So Kaito runs out, he meets Juran, and they henshin for the very first time, or they morph for the very first time, whatever you want to call it. So they transform, and I really do like this transformation and how they use the device, where they put the gears into the gun, they spin it around, they shoot, and then they transform. That is really cool. So I really do dig these designs, like Juran and Zenkaizer. I saw these designs when they came out and I praised them a lot. Like, I was a bit iffy on Zenkaizer when I first saw him because we had no idea what this was going to be, but now that we know what it's about, I'm more warmer to this suit than when I first saw it. So I just want to say I really love these designs and how they move around, because Juran, before he morphs, like even before morphing and when he morphs in his robot form, because it's a guy in a suit, they know how to move really well and nice and agile. Like, that's what also worried me with a team of all robots and one human. How are the robot people going to move around? Is it going to look sloppy? Are they not going to be moving around at all? But no, there's some really good fight choreography in this episode with Juran and how he moves. So this episode also sets up how they use the gears, where they put the gears in, they shoot it, and they can use powers from different Super Sentai teams. They don't morph into them, they just get their special powers. Like, one of them we see is Juoja, the Animal Kingdom one, where you see him grow, where you see Zenkaiger grow wings and move around. And you also see Juran using the powers of Ninja, where he just moves around really, really quickly, taking out hordes of enemies. So they take out the hordes of enemies, and then Juran goes big to fight one of the giant monsters, and overall I think it's a really good kaiju fight between the giant Juran and the monster of the week, or the giant monster of the week, because you get to see Juran turn into his dinosaur form, which looks really cool, and Juran can shift between the different forms, like he can turn into the T-Rex form, and then he can turn into like a giant Juran, which is really cool. I do like that. So overall, this final giant battle was overall pretty good, because instead of setting up the brand new Zord you can buy now in the store right now, kids, it's basically showing you a giant Juran, which you can probably buy in the stores. But overall, I think it was a really decent fight, and the guy in the Juran costume, the stunt performer, they know how to move, even though some of this fight was probably mostly CGI and stuff like that. The guy in the Juran suit sure can move, I will say that. So the day is saved, the monster's destroyed, and Juran and Kaito become good friends as they head back to the candy store, and he's a welcome guest in their home. So Kaito's grandmother goes out to get her supplies for cooking and stuff like that, and you hear a scream, so you think there's going to be more bad guys showing up. You're like, oh boy, it isn't over yet, but what you see is a mushroom going in the background, showing that another parallel world looks like it's merging with the human world, our world. So that's the cliffhanger. Everyone's growing mushrooms out of their heads, and you see a brand new mushroom world in the distance. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about Zenkaiger. Overall, I think it was a really good, solid first episode, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. I'm definitely going to keep watching. I mean, I love the characters from what we've seen so far, and I can't wait until we see the full team and see how they'll be interacting, and like I said, interacting and seeing the chemistry between them. So I'm definitely going to keep watching Zenkaiger and seeing where it goes so far. Anyway guys, I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Special thanks to all the members such as Swagger4. If you want to get your name shouted out at the end of a video like Swagger4 over here, become a Zord tier member or higher, where you can have shout outs at the end of my video and have your name appearing in the credits of every video I post moving forward. So with that said, have a wonderful day or night. Peace out, take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.